The archdemons of Gogil. In Western esoteric traditions and demonology, Gogil is presided over by prominent dark entities. Beelzebub. Known as the Lord of the Flies, Beelzebub represents the breakdown of order and the swarming, chaotic nature of corrupted thoughts. Adam Belial, often translated as the man without a master, or Lord of Lies. This entity embodies the ultimate spiritual ego, pride, and total rejection of divine reality. The Zohar and Babylon. According to certain esoteric interpretations of the Zohar, Gogil is tied to the concept of the primordial matrix of darkness. In modern occult systems such as Thelema and Hermetic Kabbalah, it is sometimes associated with the archetype of Babylon, or the Great Mother of Abominations, when viewed as the chaotic unmaking of the universe's structure. In Kabbalah, Satariel, also spelled Sathariel or Sahariel, is the third of the 10 Qliphoth on the Tree of Death. Translated from Hebrew as the concealers, or the concealment of God, this sphere completes the dark trinity of the upper Qliphothic realms, alongside Thaumiel and Gogil. Satariel acts as the direct demonic reflection and distortion of Bina, the Sephirah of understanding, structure, cosmic motherhood, and intellectual clarity. The shadow of Bina. While Bina represents the healthy manifestation of boundaries, forms, and deep empathetic understanding, Satariel represents those boundaries curdling into absolute restriction, the hiding of light. Satariel actively cloaks divine mercy and spiritual truth. It traps human perception in a spiritual blackout, obscuring the face of God and leaving a person unable to see reality clearly. Spiritual blindness and ignorance. If Bina represents knowing, Satariel represents an engineered state of not knowing, confusion, and chaotic riddles. It breeds a stubborn refusal to acknowledge facts or accept truth. The cosmic prison. In its role as a corrupted form giver, Satariel creates oppressive structures, dogmatic rules, cold bureaucracy, and psychological prisons that choke off intellectual and spiritual growth. The archdemon of Satariel. In Western Hermetic Kabbalah, Satariel is traditionally ruled by the archdemon Lucifuge Raphael. The name Lucifuge translates to "he who flees the light." Unlike Lucifer, the light-bearer, Lucifuge Raphael prefers the pitch blackness of the abyss, symbolizing a total rejection of enlightenment, clarity, and truth, in favor of shadows, illusion, and concealment. Symbolic imagery and correspondences, visual manifestation. In classic occult grimoires and texts by groups like the Order of the Golden Dawn, the spirits of Satariel are visualized as giant, horrifying black-veiled heads with horns. Their piercing, malicious eyes can barely be seen through the thick fabric of the veil, and they are sometimes accompanied by dark centaurs. Astrology. Satariel corresponds to the dark, restrictive aspect of the planet Saturn, governing decay, time, coldness, and heavy boundaries. Tarot. In many modern esoteric tarot frameworks, Satariel maps onto the death card, symbolizing the severe, unyielding destruction of form. The Book of Enoch. Outside of core Kabbalah, the name is also linked to the Book of Enoch, where Satariel is recorded as the 17th watcher among the fallen angels who descended to earth. The supernal triad of the Qliphoth together, Thaumiel, Gogil, and Satariel, form the supernal triad of the Tree of Death. They sit above the abyss and represent the raw, unmanifested forces of spiritual destruction. While the Holy Sephirot Trinity, Keter, Chakma, Bina, brings divine light down into organized creation, this dark trinity works together to dismantle it. Thaumiel shatters divine unity into permanent hostile duality. Gogil fills that fractured reality with absolute illusions and false wisdom. Satariel locks the illusion in place, veiling the truth in permanent darkness. Gog Shibla, entering the lower realms. Once you descend past the upper trinity and cross the abyss, you encounter Gog Shibla, also spelled Gog Shekla or Gamchakoth. Translated as the Smiters or the Devourers, it is the fourth sphere on the Tree of Death. Gog Shibla functions as the direct demonic distortion of the Sephirah Chesed, mercy, loving-kindness, and expansion. The shadow of Chesed. Chesed represents healthy growth, pure generosity, love, and building things up. Gog Shibla twists these qualities into corrupted, out-of-control growth, misguided love, and tyranny. It represents love curdled into absolute possessiveness, toxic dependency, or obsession. It uses kindness as a tool for control and tyranny. The devourer. While chesed expands safely, Ga'agshabla expands without boundaries. It grows like a tumor, eating away at everything else until it shatters, consuming the substance of creation. False altruism. It embodies the archetype of a ruler who claims to act for the greater good, while operating out of pure greed, wastefulness, and self-preservation. The archdemon of Ga'agshabla. This sphere is traditionally ruled by the archdemon Astaroth, often associated with Azrael, the Lord of Binding. In Western demonology, Astaroth lures humans through the temptation of luxury, laziness, and false comfort. This demon embodies the trap of staying in a state of stagnant pleasure that quietly devours a person's spiritual drive. The gateway of initiation. For practitioners of left-hand path magic, Ga'agshabla holds a unique role. It is viewed as the highest sphere below the abyss. It functions as a final cosmic testing ground that strips away a traveler's comfort zones, forcing them to transform basic desires and suffering into fuel for the long climb across the abyss. The next step downward on the tree of death is Golachab, the sphere of uncontrolled rage and destruction, which opposes Geburah, severity, strength. In Kabbalah, Golachab, meaning the burners or flaming bodies, is the fifth of the 10 klipoth on the tree of death. It represents the ultimate force of unguided wrath, chaos, and destruction. Golachab sits directly opposite the Sephirah Geburah, the holy sphere of severity, strength, judgment, and restraint. The shadow of Geburah. While Geburah represents healthy boundary setting, discipline, and the necessary force needed to destroy evil or useless things, Golachab twists strength into pure malice. Uncontrolled wrath. It represents raw violence, tyranny, and explosive anger that destroys without reason or purpose. Sadism and cruelty. While Geburah judges fairly, Golachab takes active pleasure in infliction, cruelty, and torture. Anarchy. Instead of the structured law enforcement of Geburah, Golachab breaks down all rules and order, leaving behind only the law of raw, brutal force. The archdemon of Golachab. This sphere is traditionally ruled by the archdemon Asmodeus, also spelled Asmodai. In Western occultism, Asmodeus is known as the Lord of Anger, or the Demon of Lust. His influence represents the volatile intersection of intense rage, destructive passions, and addictive desires that override human reason and self-control. Esoteric correspondences astrology. Golachab corresponds to the most volatile, destructive aspects of the planet Mars, representing war, bloodshed, and conflict. Symbolic imagery. In ceremonial magic traditions, the spirits of Golachab are visualized as colossal, terrifying flaming giants, or horned demons with faces of smoke and fire, constantly tearing themselves and their surroundings apart. The fire of rebellion. For left-hand path practitioners, Golachab is often invoked as a catalyst for breaking through stubborn spiritual stagnation, using its intense revolutionary fire to melt away self-imposed illusions or weaknesses. In Kabbalah, Thagirion, meaning the disputers or those who bellow, is the sixth of the 10 klipoth on the tree of death. It acts as the central heart and core of the demonic tree, serving as the direct dark reflection and corruption of the Sephirah, Tifereth, the holy sphere of beauty, balance, compassion, and Christ consciousness, harmony. The shadow of Tifereth. While Tifereth stands at the absolute center of the tree of life, balancing all surrounding energies into perfect beauty and spiritual enlightenment, Tagaron represents the ultimate disruption of that balance, the black sun. Tifereth is symbolized by the life-giving sun. Tagaron is the black sun, emitting a blinding negative illumination that feeds the ego and keeps the soul locked in spiritual delusion. Ugliness and discord. Instead of harmony and beauty, Tagaron generates constant disputation, weeping, and existential grief. It breeds ugliness in the mind, making a person see the world through a lens of profound cynicism. The false savior. It manifests the archetype of the false prophet or narcissist, using an illusion of charisma, false beauty, and twisted compassion to manipulate and lead others astray. The archdemon of Thagirion. This central dark sphere is ruled by the archdemon Belphegor, often associated with the biblical Baal Peor. In traditional demonology, Belphegor is the demon of genius discoveries, sloth, and manipulation. He tempts humans by whispering complex, lazy shortcuts, offering wealth without effort, and fostering an intellectual pride that completely disconnects a person from divine reality. Esoteric significance, the heart of the abyss. Just as Tifereth is the vital gateway through which human consciousness connects to higher divine realms, Thagirion is the central hub where all the chaotic energies of the lower Qliphoth converge and intensify. Astrology. Thagirion corresponds to the inverted, destructive aspect of the sun, representing scorching heat, blinding pride, arrogance, and the death of spiritual vitality. Tarot. In modern Western esoteric traditions, it maps onto the devil card when emphasizing the raw bondage of material illusions over spiritual freedom.